Tied your career high, 45 wins. Do you stop to think about that at all? Is it a milestone to you, or no, it's just part of the process?
Not really. I mean, I don't really look at it, all that much. Don't worry about that. I think the only thing I really worry about is kind of the next game, how we're playing right now. What do we have to do to put ourselves in a position to win the next one? So I don't worry too much about it. I just know that we're playing really good baseball right now. Don't know if I could ask for anything more out of my ball club over the first 2 games, and really kind of what we've done over the last 20, I guess. We've been playing really, really consistent baseball, winning games in different ways, and we just got to keep it going.
Monte, do you think back a couple years ago and the similarities this team in between the 2 teams and the way they're hitting, and just how much fun they're having?
They are similar teams in terms of their chemistry, in their personalities. This group is a lot of fun to be around. It's a very loose and laid-back group. That first team that we brought here was maybe a little bit more of an intense group in terms of the personality. When you've got a leader like an Okie and a Pat Crawl, more physically intense type competitors. This group is a little more laid back, very cool and collected, and very confident. This is an extremely confident group. Even before yesterday's game, they were really loose and laid back, and it's just kind of another game to them. And I don't mean that with any sort of disrespect. I think that's why we've been so consistent, because these guys don't really get all that amped up. They know that they're a good club, and that if they do what they do, they're going to give themselves a chance to win the game. And that's kind of what I've seen out of this group this year.
Are you worried about what they're going to do to you next while you're on TV trying to do an interview?
Yeah, as long as they don't put gum on my hat. I can't. It's very difficult to get gum off of my hat, and so I told Higginbotham, if you put anything on me while I'm doing another interview, I'm going to kick you. Obviously, I can't do that, but I told him that. So, but no, I mean, again, they love that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just, again, they look forward to things like that. And all I can say is this: I wish that when I was playing, that I got a chance to play with a group that enjoyed being together as much as these guys did. I mean, I had a great experience as a student athlete when I was in college, but I never got to experience this type of situation where you're playing on a club that's in the top 5 by some polls, winning the way that we've been winning, and with the type of exposure that we've been getting. Hopefully the people across the country can see just how much fun it is to be a part of our baseball program.
Could you feel him lingering over your shoulder, or looming probably is the better word, last night?
Yes, I could, and I was just hoping again that he wouldn't touch me, because I knew if he touched me, he was going to put something on me, and I made it very clear in the post-game talk on the bus that if you guys want to continue with the antics on the mid-game interview, that's fine. Just do not put anything on me. Do not touch me, period.
You've had a formula you've used for success on the road recently. You got an off day today. What changes does that give you?
The biggest changes for today is we're going to focus on a couple things in practice today, very simple things. Just to try to prepare us for tomorrow, but we're going to try to keep it as light as possible, because we're practicing here in the early afternoon in the heat. So I don't want them to be out here too terribly long, but I want our workout. I want to make sure that the guys get their work in, and that it works for them. So we're going to try to be short and sweet today. The guys, are used to this type of practice that we're doing today, but we're going to try to monitor their arms a little bit, try to take a little bit of a load off their throwing arms to make sure that they feel good going into tomorrow, and keep them off their legs to the best of our ability. We're not going to run around a whole lot, just get some swings and some ground balls and get to the weight room, just so that our guys can maintain their strength going into tomorrow and into next week.
Guessing Higginbotham tomorrow, and then what would be the plan for Sunday if you make it?
Well, we're going to go with Higginbotham tomorrow. We'll use Hennessy out of the bullpen as an option if needed. We have Spires available. We have Riley available for tomorrow. If we need to use Hennessy, then we will use Hennessy tomorrow out of the pen. If we don't use Hennessy, and again, that's going to be dependent upon the game and what happens, then there is the possibility that we could start him on Sunday. But we're going to use Hennessy tomorrow out of the pen to win us the game if we feel like we need to use Jacob, if the matchup is right. If we don't use him, then he would be available for Sunday.
Is there any advantage of having the day off before the semifinal game?
Yes, we were able to make a suggestion as to what our off day would be, and we wanted to take Friday off, and the reason being is we wanted to play back-to-back days and give our bullpen a day off, not knowing obviously kind of how the first two games would turn out from a pen perspective. But because our team is built off of using our bullpen, we felt like back-to-back days with a day off and then play would be the best setup for our bullpen. So that's why we chose to have Friday off. And it's worked out great for us because, you know, 2 of the 3 that we've used the most, we haven't had to pitch yet, and we haven't even warmed them up yet. So we can stretch those guys out tomorrow if needed behind our starter.
Were you given that advantage because of the higher seed, I guess?
Yes, yes. And again, we don't necessarily the 1 seed gets to pick their day off, but they do ask. They asked us if we have a date that we prefer, and we gave them our preference, but they make that decision. So, but we were granted Friday off as our off day, and it's worked out good for us.